there's a whole bunch of steps. So I'm gonna do it, and then we'll talk through it once the tree's on the ground. But basically, you can do this technique on any tree that's slightly larger than your wedge. Okay?
What's this technique called?
It's called the tongue and groove, small tree wedging technique.
You're gonna send that to all of us, Daniel?
Oh, yes.
He's gonna post it, dude. I'm gonna need some royalties from this one.
12 cents a view.
So you can do it on any tree that's, this is about, I mean, you can do it on any tree. It's just, this is your technique for falling smaller trees that maybe a full-size, bore cut is gonna be hard to do. So I can bore cut this tree, but you can do this on a very small tree, down to the width of your wedge. The advantage of this is that if you're coming from a chipper, if your chipper's coming from this direction, you get to feed the butt of the tree into the chipper as opposed to the top of the tree without spinning it around. This is super handy for fuels reduction. If you have a central burn pile, you can fall all these small trees centrally in. Traditionally, this is a very hard tree to wedge using sort of standard Northwest practices, but this tree leans back probably about 3 feet, and we're gonna send it back that way.
Plus you got the wind now.
Yeah, now we got some breeze. So I'm gonna have you guys stand over here. There's a lot of steps. Okay. Wow. Yep. That's gonna look really good on YouTube. Okay, so what's happening here? Notch your tree as you would. Just normal. You do want to do a bird's mouth on this one. Okay. Second step is here. This is a little bit better. These are gonna go together. So from your normal notch, you take a pivot and you bore straight in.
Right where the hinge is.
The apex of the hinge.
Uh-huh.
And you just wiggle it wide enough where a wedge will fit in there, but your corners are intact. My corner was intact until I bounced around a little bit. So we still have hinge on both sides though. Does that make sense? And then, so you saw me go all the way through, then you saw me go underneath just a little bit. And what that does is that is making room. If you don't do this relief cut underneath, this wedge has nowhere to go and it'll hold the tree up. So it doesn't seem like much, but this flexed on its way down, giving this wedge room enough to move. Okay, then after that, we have walk around to the back of the tree, snug up your wedge, and we have two cuts that overlap this cut, but don't connect in the middle. Okay, because that's what's holding the tree up. That shear right here and right here, that's what's holding the tree up right now, supported by the back of the wedge.
Those cuts are just above that wedge?
Yep, just above. So that wedge is sitting there like this. And you can't connect them. I mean, my mentor was so lazy, he didn't even make them flat. He made them like that because he didn't want to bend over. It doesn't matter. All you're doing is you're intersecting this overhand cut right here, or this wedge right here, and you're cut up until you make your normal corners. Okay, now this side, any ideas why this side was jumpier than this side?
There's less fiber in there.
I was using the top of the bar close to the, standing on this side, using the top of the bar.
Coming from the back.
I was close to my kickback corner. It was jumping around. But I didn't cut it off. I still have some here, but it's ideally it would come out to the corner right here. But then you're cut up. Your tree's just standing there. And then when you saw me hit it the first time, well, more like the second time, did you see that wave go through the tree? And then you get that wave going through the tree, and then when the top moves forward, you hit it again. Top moves forward, just like a rhythm, and then 3-4 hits, and then stood up. You can take a tree that's almost 45-degree backwards and do this twice with 2 wedges, and you get almost 2.5 inches of lift. So for small diameter wedging, don't try this around a house for your first time because you're gonna mess it up. This is a great place to try it, but super handy though for small wedges.
How many years you been doing this?
Me?
Yeah.
15. This cut?
No, this in general.
Cutting or teaching?
Teaching.
Teaching? Only 5. Been cutting for 15. I should have been dead. Then I met my mentor and he probably saved my life. Because I just cut the way that everybody else cut, which is kind of fast and loose. So this is pretty confined though. This is like nice.
And the only time you'd use this if it's smaller in your wedges and had a lean.
If it's just, well, you can't do it smaller than your wedges, but you can do this on a tree. Ideal tree to do this on is like this. So that's a little big,
Yeah.
but it's still, I mean, they got the point across. But yeah, we can wedge this tree. Like if we wanted to, we could wedge, if this tree wasn't here, we could stand this tree back up and go that way. It's remarkably strong. Just the corners of your hinge. So, cool. There's a lot of steps.